If you've crossed the age of 60, chances are you've already walked through decades of hard work. You've raised families, supported loved ones, and made countless sacrifices along the way. And now, as you step into this next phase of life, whether you call it retirement, a new beginning, or simply your time, something begins to shift. You start to realize that life isn't so much about striving for more anymore. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing what truly matters and releasing what no longer does. Here's something many people don't talk about. Living a better life often isn't about adding more. In fact, it's often about letting go. Letting go of old habits, outdated beliefs, and the silent pressures you've carried for years. In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into 9 important things to release after turning 60. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because you deserve more ease, more joy, and more personal freedom in this incredible chapter of your life. These insights are drawn from over a decade of conversations with people just like you, those in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, who've taught me what aging with grace and wisdom really looks like. Stick around until the very end, because the last point could change the way you see every morning going forward. Let's get started. Number 1. Release the fear behind saving. The first thing to consider letting go of: the fear-based approach to saving money. I know it may sound unusual. Saving money has been a lifelong discipline for most of us. Saving for emergencies, saving for retirement, saving just in case. And for many decades, that strategy made perfect sense. But here's the key question. What happens when someday becomes today? When you're in your 60s or beyond, and your finances are in order, continuing to save out of fear instead of intention can quietly rob you of the freedom you've worked so hard to earn. Money is a tool. It's meant to support your life, not overshadow. If you've already saved responsibly and your needs are covered, then maybe now is the time to shift your mindset. Instead of holding on tightly just in case, maybe it's time to ask, what brings me joy now? How can I use my resources to truly live? Time is your most valuable asset now, not money. And if your future self could talk to you today, they'd probably say, you've earned this. Go live it. Number 2, stop wasting money on things that don't truly matter. The second thing to let go of after the age of 60 is this. Stop spending your money on things that don't bring genuine joy into your life. Now that you've reached a stage where you can finally spend with freedom, it's time to ensure that your money is going toward what actually enriches your life, not just what fills space. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of automatic purchases. We buy out of routine, obligation, or even guilt. Sometimes we spend just to meet others' expectations or to avoid uncomfortable feelings we haven't dealt with. But take a step back and really think about it. How many of your purchases actually leave you feeling fulfilled? I remember hearing from a man in his late 60s. For years, he would spend hundreds on gadgets he never used, holiday gifts he felt pressured to buy, and clothes that stayed in the closet. But when he talked about a train trip he took across the country to visit an old friend, he lit up. That experience, that time together, that's what stuck with him. That's the difference between spending and spending with purpose. After 60, your money should reflect what you care about most. For some, that's making memories through travel. For others, it might be investing in health, creating comfort at home, or supporting family milestones like education or weddings. Whatever matters most to you, that's where your money should go. It's okay to let go of purchases that feel empty or unnecessary. It's okay to stop buying to impress others or to fill a void. This is your time, and how you spend is a reflection of how you live. And don't forget, happiness doesn't always cost money. Some of the most meaningful moments are the simplest. A phone call with someone you love, a sunset walk, or cooking your favorite meal from scratch. These moments don't require spending. They just require attention. So before you make your next purchase, ask yourself, is this adding to the life I truly want, or just taking up space? Spend with awareness. Spend with intention. Because it's not about how much you spend. It's about what it brings into your life. Number 3, Let go of the habit of trading time. Just for money as you step into life after 60, one of the most important shifts to make is this. Stop trading your precious time for money, unless what you do still brings true meaning into your life. For decades, your time was closely tied to a paycheck. You woke up early, showed up consistently, put in long hours, and gave your best, even on days when it wasn't easy. That was part of building your career, supporting your family, and shaping your future. But now things are different. You're no longer in the building phase, you're in the living phase. And in this phase, time becomes far more valuable than money. So ask yourself honestly, are you working because it lights a fire within you? Or are you working because you're afraid of what happens when you stop? This isn't about telling you to walk away from your job the moment you hit 60. Far from it. If your work still brings you joy, purpose, and a sense of identity, then it's worth continuing. But the key here is choice, not fear, not habit, not guilt. Let me share an example. A retired engineer once told me that he kept working well into his late 60s. Why? Not because he had to, but because mentoring young professionals filled him with pride. He loved the rhythm of his work. Then one morning he woke up and realized it was time. No sadness, no anxiety, just peace. That's the kind of clarity and freedom you deserve. On the flip side, I've seen many people stay in roles they've long outgrown, not because they love it, but because they fear what comes next. They've spent so long working that they don't know what life looks like when they finally slow down. But here's a truth worth remembering. Money can be replenished. Time cannot. You can always earn another dollar, but you cannot relive a single yesterday. And no amount of money will buy back the minutes, hours, or years spent doing something that no longer nourishes your soul. So if your job energizes you, keep showing up with passion. But if it leaves you feeling drained, trapped, or disconnected from the life you truly want, it might be time to step away. You've spent decades exchanging your time for income. Now, it's time to exchange your time for joy, for purpose, for meaning. This chapter of your life isn't about doing more. It's about living deeper. Number 4. Stop delaying life's adventures. One important thing to release after turning 60 is the habit of postponing experiences you've always wanted to have. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking, I'll do it someday. Someday I'll travel to that dream destination. Someday I'll take up that hobby. Someday I'll visit new places, try new things, or cross off those bucket list items. But what if that someday never arrives? What if your health takes a turn? What if loved ones aren't there anymore? What if the perfect moment slips away because you waited too long? When you're past 60, the best time to start living those dreams is now. This doesn't mean you have to spend recklessly or throw caution to the wind. It means giving yourself permission to make your dreams real by planning and committing to them. I remember a woman who always wanted to explore Japan. She had maps, books, and even practiced a few phrases in Japanese. Yet year after year, she kept saying, yeah, maybe next year. Then, after a small health scare at 67, she decided to go for it. When she returned, she shared with me, that trip wasn't just a vacation, it was a rediscovery of who I am. Life is far more than routines or endless to-do lists. It's about creating moments that fill your soul and spark joy. So let go of the notion that you have to wait for the perfect time. Release the guilt, the doubts, and the fears that say, it's too late, because here's the truth, it's never too late. Your time is exactly now. 5. Stop letting guilt dictate your choices. One of the most important things to release after turning 60 is the hold guilt has on your decisions. This can be a tough one, especially if you've spent much of your life as the dependable one, the caregiver, the rock, the person everyone turned to in times of need. You've probably said yes when your heart wanted to say no. You've likely put others' needs before your own, sometimes at your own cost. You may have stayed quiet to avoid conflict, even when it hurt deeply inside. Here's the honest truth. It's perfectly okay to put yourself first. You deserve rest. You deserve to set boundaries. You have every right to say no, no explanations necessary. I once met a gentleman who shared with me, I carried the weight of owing everyone, my time, my support, my energy, for decades. It wasn't until I reached 70 that I realized, the only things I owe are love and truth. Think about that for a moment. After 60, your choices should come from a place of peace and authenticity, not from guilt or obligation. You've given plenty throughout your life, and if you continue to give, let it be from a place of generosity, not pressure. So next time guilt creeps in, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to, or because I feel forced? If it's the latter, it's time to release that guilt, because guilt may have been part of your past, but it doesn't need to follow you forward. 6. Stop apologizing for being yourself. One crucial thing to release after 60 is the habit of apologizing for who you are. With all your years, you've learned nobody's perfect, and that's completely okay. More importantly, you've earned the freedom to be unapologetically authentic. Many people start to minimize themselves as they grow older. They worry about being too outspoken, too quiet, too emotional, or too set in their ways. They try to fit into molds that no longer suit them. But here's the truth. Your life is your masterpiece, and you don't need anyone's approval to take center stage. Speak openly. Dress how you please. Share your honest thoughts, laugh heartily, move at your own rhythm. Love fiercely. You're not here to fade into the background. You're here to shine brightly as your true self. I once coached a gentleman who spent decades in a corporate world of suits and meetings. After retiring at 65, he discovered painting, bold, colorful, and free. When asked why, he simply said, "It's who I really am." You don't owe anyone an explanation for your happiness. You don't have to defend your passions. You don't need to apologize for outgrowing people, places, or beliefs. You deserve to occupy your space fully and freely, just as you are. 7. Stop measuring your life against others. Another important release after 60 is to stop comparing your journey to others. In today's world of social media and curated highlights, it's easy to feel like everyone else is living better, traveling more, or aging with more grace. But here's what's real. Every person is walking their own path, and comparing yourself only steals your peace. I spoke with 2 women recently retired. One had saved generously and traveled extensively. The other enjoyed a quiet life, tending her garden and writing poetry. Both were content, yet each worried if they were doing enough. Drop that pressure. Your life's pace and direction are uniquely yours. Your worth isn't defined by anyone else's achievements. Instead of asking, "Why don't I have what they have?" try asking, "What blessings do I already have?" True happiness comes not from having more, but from needing less. 8. Stop. Holding on to regret, letting go of regret is essential after 60. We all carry moments we wish could be undone. Missed opportunities, mistakes, harsh words. But holding on to these only weighs you down as you move forward. Here's what I've learned working with many people. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can change how it shapes you. A man once shared how he hadn't spoken to his brother for 15 years due to a conflict. At 72, he reached out and said, "I don't care about who was right, I just want peace." That simple act started to free him. Maybe your regret isn't about others. It could be a job you didn't pursue, a dream deferred, or a moment lost. Whatever it is, offer yourself forgiveness. You did the best with what you knew then, and you still are. Releasing regret isn't forgetting, but choosing to walk forward lighter, freer, and wiser. 9. Stop waiting for permission to be happy. Lastly, after 60, stop waiting for anyone's approval to embrace happiness. Happiness isn't something to earn or prove. It's something you allow yourself to feel. You don't need the perfect health, the perfect partner, or the perfect circumstances. You don't have to fix everything first or justify your joy. All it takes is this simple choice. Today, I choose happiness right now, in this moment, just as you are, because happiness isn't found out there. It's within you, in your breath, in your heart, here and now. Release the notion that you need someone else to say it's okay. It is okay. It's more than okay. It's wonderful.